Graduated from Irondale High School in 1979, and I graduated from Luther College in 1983, and then I went to law school for half of a year. In the banking business since 1983. I was in the corporate banking office of First Bank Minneapolis and worked out in Los Angeles for about 9 months. And I also worked for Alpine Banks of Colorado, and I ran the bank in Aspen.
Originally, we were investigating what we should call the brewery. We interviewed a number of local people wondering what they would be interested in, and our key competitor in Decorah chose a name that has no affiliation with Decorah. So we wanted something that would appeal to the locals, and that was a name of a local landmark called Pulpit Rock, and so we became Pulpit Rock Brewing Company.
I am one of the founders and principals of Pulpit Rock Brewing Company. It is a craft brewer located in Decorah, Iowa. We initiated our plans to start Pulpit Rock roughly a little over a year ago, and we hired 2 individuals out of Toppling Goliath that had significant brewing expertise. We raised $600,000 to buy all of our equipment, and we evaluated different business models, interviewed lots of other craft brewery owners, and decided on starting, and we've been open since August. The corporate structure of Pulpit Rock Brewing Company is an LLC. And we currently have 10 separate owners, of which 2 were just added after a year of employment. That would have been our brewers, and we granted them 2.5% of the company each as part of having them join Pulpit Rock Brewing Company. And it is governed by 3 managers, one being myself.
In the company, we had to consider a number of factors. Where we would put the business itself. We needed at least 4,500 square feet between the brewery and the tap room. Superior locations given traffic flows in Decorah, so certain corners are better than others. Main Street was considered. We ultimately picked opening it up in the back of a building that we knew the owner of, and we picked that location because it has the highest traffic count. So we considered the land there. As far as the employee situation in Decorah, we had to consider the experience level. Our brewers had significant experience level at brewing beer, but we didn't have anyone who could run the business side of it. As far as capital needs, when we looked at establishing the business, I put together a projection that showed what type of working capital would be needed, what type of equipment, and from there we created an overall budget that determined what our capital requirement was. And in terms of financing that capital requirement, we chose to not use any bank financing. We just did it with actual equity from owners to create the $600,000 that was used to start the company. Getting the federal licensing, it is a business that's highly regulated and regulated by very archaic alcohol laws. It was a very extensive application process, took us much longer than we thought to get approval. The other complicating element is that most of the equipment is custom made and not readily available. So as we ordered equipment, we looked at finding places that could deliver on a timely basis, and we were promised turnaround time of 6 months. It ultimately ended up being close to 9 months. Very customer service focused sales staff in the tap room that has good knowledge of our beers and the different flavors and what would appeal to different tastes. And we felt that was really important. Our key competitor, who does have a national reputation, and they produce a very good beer, they're known for not being very friendly. So one of the key things we did is we wanted our employees to be very outgoing, to be very accommodating about requests to try a different beer if they didn't like the one they got. So we're clearly focused on the client experience and making sure that all of our customers want to come back. We had to do a fair amount of marketing to let people know we were open. We also have a relatively unique logo, and we did apparel, customized glasses, and market over Facebook and over Instagram. You have to look at all your pre-opening costs. For the first 9 months of operations, we had no sales in essence. We had no product to sell. It takes 9 months to get your equipment. You have to get the licensing. You have to get your inventory to produce the beer. And finally, your brewers can start brewing, and at the point that 3 weeks later, once they've started brewing, you actually have a product to sell. And from there, we were able to generate sales. Had sales growth every week since opening, and we are exceeding our original projection. We're pleased with the upswing in sales.